Hey, thanks everybody for joining us for another episode of Powerful on Purpose podcast. Where we talk to truly amazing women who are sharing their stories to build businesses and expand their mission in the world. Super excited to share with you today that Alyssa Utecht, I'm telling her she needs to create a university tech because she has a name for it, right? Is with us today and delighted to have her because Alyssa helps women who are doing all the things, and we know what those things are, right? Take back the power they didn't know they gave away. And how many times has that happened to you? You think, why did I agree to do that? Because I thought I'd moved beyond that. But the universe is giving you yet another lesson. So she is a boundaries coach and energy guide, and she blends intuition, humor. I've already got a taste of that so far, so you're in for a treat, and grounded wisdom to make deep transformation feel refreshingly doable. And I'm thinking we all need more of that doable, grounded intuition and humor. So,
Yes.
welcome, Alyssa.
Thank you. I'm so delighted to be here.
Likewise, yeah, I can tell we're going to have a great conversation already. So, I always love to start with people. What what is the story that made you go, wait a minute, I could bring these things together and I see that others need this kind of help?
Oh, that is a good question because that's how we all kind of accidentally get there, right? So, real briefly, I had some traumatic stuff happen in my childhood, like a lot of us. And my central nervous system went into fight or flight and it never shut off. And of course, it was the 70s, it was the 80s. I had no idea. So I go on, I'm living my life, I do the things and I follow my dreams and have a family, and all the while health and anxiety and fears and just pile on and pile on and pile on and pile on. So, in this attempt to find my own healing, I have gathered these tools and learned this amazing wisdom from mentors and coaches and healers of all the realms. And one day I woke up and I was like, I meant to be helping others with this also because I just feel like I've learned so much in the last, 8 or 10 years. And I have these tools. And so now I am here to really help empower women and a few men because, like you said, let's make it easy. Let's make it joyful and let's do it together so we don't feel like we're so alone.
Ooh, I love that. So important. Also to your point of spending that time to learn those tools, now you can help other people shortcut that, right? Because we all, if we're evolving and moving that direction, you're
Yeah.
going to have to spend the time.
Yep. Let's make it as painless and quick as possible, right? I love that. It's like we know we're on this road. Those of us who are on this, we know where we are. It's like, oh, how much more? And again, we can do it together with laughter, with joy, with awareness. And every once in a while, it's like really quick, something deep and traumatic. And you just have this session. It's like, poof, it's gone. And that's why I
Right?
think we keep doing this work for women, with women, and a few men, just because those miracles are there for us if we just are brave enough and have that intention to dive in and heal it.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. So, yeah, give us an example, obviously no names or anything, but of how you were able to help someone move through that in
Oh,
a easy, simple fashion.
I love it. So, as coaches, a lot of times we talk about, the 3 months to 6 months, that deep container, and I work with women in that time, and the growth is incredible. And every once in a while, there's a friend or an acquaintance who was just like, oh my gosh, this thing, I just can't get over it, or I just can't make it happen. So you're like, all right, let's just sit down, let's have a session. So one person that pops up was just a one time. She was a coach in building a business and she could not make herself get on video. And she's bilingual, so she tried in both languages. She would hit record and just freeze and stop. And so we took that opportunity to just see, okay, so like put the video aside. Let's, peel back the layers and feel into what's really going on underneath. And of course, childhood stuff and, mother with a mental illness and, trying to hold everything together as a very small child with a sibling. And so, we healed all that from the root level. And then, she went off and just did her thing. And I just started seeing her on Instagram. She's making videos, she's being herself. And that's really the thing. We don't, a lot of times we have transformation and we come back from a retreat or an incredible experience and say, oh my gosh, I'm a new person. And while I have said that and I feel like a new person, I want to retrain my mind to think I am more of myself. And so the
Right.
whole thing about the healing and the peeling back and helping her with the video is let's clear what's not yours so you can show up and be more of yourself, because that is what the world needs. I have lots of other
Oh,
examples if you want. I could go on, but it's really a miracle to watch.
no, that's beautiful. And really that fact, like it's not only our childhood stuff, but it's all that DNA, right? That we're carrying that
Oh
we
yes.
don't even recognize a lot of times how that's impacting our current
Mm-hmm.
life. And
Right.
something so simple, like, honestly, probably she had coaches who just said, get over it, right? That's no
Just do
big
it.
deal.
Just do it.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, there's something here that, and I love to energy work, right? Because, like you said, we
Mm-hmm.
don't need to dredge through all that happened and whatever. Let's just get
Right.
to the root
Mm-hmm.
and help you move forward.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it all comes back to the nervous system. If your central nervous system doesn't feel safe, the things you want are either not going to happen or they're going to be a lot more work, a lot more effort, a lot more time. And we want things fast, right? We want the miracles. We want to have it. So, yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that also brings up a great point that we struggle, right? So we see somebody out there doing what we think we want to do, and
Yes.
we don't understand anything that's gone behind or
Mhm.
their methodology or the way their brain works. And it
Right.
appears simple. And so we think, okay, we got to grind this out 12 hours a day, do the
Yes.
funnel, do the whole whatever, and then I'm going to have success.
Yeah, right. And it
And
can happen that way. And I feel like as I'm learning in my journey, I hear people say if you want to become enlightened, start your own business. And this has been truly what's I experience. So I think the more time we spend trying to do it someone else's way is where that effort and struggle can, and it can work. And there, of course, we learn from others, but I feel like there's that balance of, okay, take that knowledge and then, all right, who am I? How do I want to show up? How do I want it to look? How do I want to be? What works for me? So it's that balance of that makes it easy. I
right.
would say easier, shall we say.
There you go. Because I'm with you. I think the greatest personal development program is not from anybody else. It's starting a business, right?
Oh,
Because all
goodness.
your stuff comes up. And if you
Yes, it
want
does.
it to succeed, then you're like, okay, I got to deal with that. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, I thought I dealt with that last month. And here it is again.
Yes, another layer, right? Oh, it's another layer. Yep, absolutely.
And
Some
I
people
don't think
call it
the layers ever end, do they?
No, that's it. Some people call it an invitation. I call it an invitation. Yeah, I think as long as we're here on this planet in these physical bodies, it will continue. But again, I notice as I've done this deep work for years, I move through it quicker. I don't go as low
Sure.
when I'm low. I just have the resilience. I see it ahead of time, right? Like I say, oh, I see that one coming. So let's just deal with it. So I just want people to be encouraged because sometimes it feels like heavy and never ending, and that too will pass, and it does get easier and quicker as the more I guess capable we get at working through this stuff.
Sure, sure. And I think maybe awareness too, right? Awareness that's going on. And even if you go down that or have to peel off that layer
Mhm.
again, you're like, okay, I got this as part of the process. I don't need
Yes,
it, let it take me all the way down.
I love that. You are absolutely right. The awareness is key as long as we can remember it.
Right. Well, and I think that always is the challenge is because we tend to be sort of patterned and we get in that
Mhm.
rut. And then
Yeah.
how do we bounce ourselves out so that we go, oh, I don't want to go down that rut again.
Yep. I think just practice, right? It's a muscle, that awareness muscle. I love that. And that's why we have surround ourselves with coaches and mentors and, even close family. Some people in my family will now point it out when they see me heading down that road. I'm like, dang it, they're right. Okay. So, if you share this work with the people around you, they can be very helpful and point it out when you're, heading down the tunnel.
Right. And that should be come with a caveat, right? Only if you want them to be that
Yep,
that
that's its
sounding
own
board.
layer. Right, that's a different onion layer. So we'll just put that to the side. Yep. Yep.
Exactly. What do you have like a favorite tool or a
Ooh,
favorite practice that you do with your clients that seems to really be helpful quickly?
that is a good question. I love all my tools. They're my little toolbox. It really depends on the client. I usually come with a plan and then we go where the wind takes us. So I use a lot of visualization
Oh,
because
good.
when we have our eyes closed and we're tuning in, or they have their eyes closed, we can heal things. And as an energy worker, I can like do double duty, if that makes sense. So they're leaning in and tuning in and thinking and reflecting. And then it's like this layered approach. And so visualization is really, you can do it on your own too, right? You can have recordings and it can take you back to that place where you're working through something. So if I had to pick one, reluctantly in this moment, I would say the visualization just is so widespread, and most people are able to close their eyes and picture something, even if they think they're making it up. So not everyone, but it's a good place to start.
Right? Yeah, and we wouldn't hold you to that, but I'm always curious if there's, something
Yeah,
specific. And
yeah,
I love that too, because then we're tapping into that neurology, right? Your
yes,
brain really doesn't know if it's true or not. And we're
yes.
creating that truth
That's
for it.
exactly right. You are exactly right. And when I learned that, I thought about, dreams. If you're being chased in your dreams, your heart races and you get sweaty and you're short of breath. I thought, duh, let's use that in our waking hours, right? And of course, many people had that figured out decades and hundreds of years ago, but we get there.
Yeah,
We get
absolutely.
there.
No, it's not, I don't really know that there's any unique idea. I think what we do is we take those ideas that come to us and then we create something unique out of them.
Yes.
Because, like you said, I have all these years of experience with all these different tools and I'm combining them slightly different than everybody
Mhm.
else before.
Yeah. Yep. It's what makes us us. That's what makes our business ours. Yep. You are right.
Yeah, exactly. So, what would you like to see your business look like 12 months from now?
Ooh, as we're coming to the end of the year, it's like,
Speaking
all
of
right.
visualization,
Yep, goals and what? Yes, so well, okay, an excellent question. And I have been pondering it the last few weeks. I do like shiny things a bit. So I'm like, ooh, I could do this. Ooh, let's do this. Ooh, let's do this. But I feel like underneath all of that is this desire to, number one, create community, just have a place where people can come and it's safe and it's compassionate and it's understanding. And you might learn a few things about the world and about yourself. So I feel like community is calling to me. And I also feel like I really want to have programs, courses, different levels of things to meet people where they are. So, like I said, as a coach, I prepare and then I go in and meet the client wherever they are. So I want people to be able to, this visualization is $10 and oh, it might help me sleep. Or this hypnosis, is something that I can take with me and use in my life and make it work for me. From that all the way up to the 12-month programs where someone feels like they need a deeper dive and a, big transition and they're going through all this life stuff and it might take a while to unpack it all. So I want to be able to create community and then meet people where they are so that they can take that next step toward their growth and healing and happiness and joy and abundance, which is what we're all here for.
right, right. I love that. That's awesome. And really segues nicely, right? Together, the two
Yeah. Yeah.
things.
I hope
of
so.
creating that community and then providing support for that community.
Right. Yep. Yep. We're all in this together.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. For better or worse, however it
That's
turns out.
exactly right. Depends on the day. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, what advice would you give to people? How would they know that you are the person to work with? Like, what would be
Ooh.
the things that they'd be saying or thinking or feeling?
Okay. So I am a boundaries coach, and as I've come to realize everything, we have a relationship with every single thing in our life. So we have a relationship with the people and the family and the coworkers. We have a relationship with our technology. We have a relationship with our pets and all the food we eat and the things we drink and our sleep and our calendar and our stress. Every relationship has a boundary, and some of those boundaries are firm and healthy and feel really good. And some of those boundaries are holy and wobbly and floppy and do not feel great. So, what I aim to do is help people figure out where they're leaking the energy and the joy and the abundance. And so we heal it. And so then they can go and set those firm boundaries, whether even it's with their own schedule. Like, make time for lunch for you, for Pete's sake, right? So for
Right.
people, if you have a relationship in your life that doesn't feel good, like, oh, I watched 3 hours of Netflix again tonight and I didn't get that book read that I want to, or my gosh, why does my sister keep dropping off her kids at my house without asking for permission? Or, oh my gosh, I opened the package and wanted to eat one Oreo, but ended up eating 27. So if you have any relationship in your life and it feels heavy and it feels like you don't have choice, another word we use for that is control. And that's okay. But if you feel like you don't have control, or you feel like you're just tired and exhausted because you're leaking this energy and this joy, that would be people who I would say, oh my gosh, let's just have a conversation. No
Right.
expectation, no obligation. Let's just talk about it and see what's going on and see if there's any way that I can assist you.
Right. And I love your terminology of leaking energy, right? Because I think
Yeah,
we might not consciously know what that means, but on a
that's
real
exactly right.
subconscious level, we're like, oh, yeah, I totally get that.
That's exactly right. And that's where the energy comes in. So the energy piece doesn't speak to everyone, but it does to some. And I feel like we all have something in our lives where we wish the relationship were different, whether it's
Right.
people, places, things, whatever it is. I feel like we can all relate to a relationship, even if it's that relationship with self.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Though I will say, like, I think the Oreo thing, that you should eat them all in one because then otherwise they go bad or something,
You
right?
know what? This is the beauty. This is a completely judgment free space. So, and it's possible the Oreo example comes from my life. So I a couple years ago might have agreed. And yeah, so we've all got our things, right? And you know what? Sometimes if you just do it, do it. Do it with joy. Eat the entire package, like dive in and be joyful about it. And that's a different place than, oh my gosh, I'm going to open them late at night
Right.
when everybody's asleep. So absolutely, but it's it's
Right.
what feels good to you.
Right. I just had to give you a hard time about Oreos because now we're talking about serious stuff when we get into the Oreo realm.
I okay there. Yep, it is very serious. We take our Oreos very seriously here.
That's right. And now there's so many flavors that it's like mind boggling, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's a whole nother. Yeah.
now I'm thinking about them now. Yep.
Yeah. I'm glad I could put that idea in your
Yeah,
mind, that
lunchtime, right?
visualization.
Yep. Yes.
All right. So you do have a free gift for everyone. We'll put the link in the
You
show
do.
notes, and it's uh, called Soothe Your System. So tell us a
Mhm.
little bit about what somebody would get if they chose to do that.
Absolutely. Well, I encourage you to it's a PDF and it's like 7 ways to soothe your system and shift your mood, is the long name. So, what it is, I think it's actually 8 ways, super quick, easy, simple ways that you can calm your central nervous system. So, take you out of that fight or flight. We're like, oh my gosh, I can't even pick a spaghetti sauce in the grocery store, right? Like you are fried. Like I think we make 30,000 decisions every day. And so we get to that point where we cannot make another decision. And so just quick, easy ways to go from that sympathetic, which is that fight or flight or freeze or fawn, to a little more restful state, the parasympathetic, your breathing returns. And that means all those chemicals that flooded your brain now ease. You can think clearly, you're more resourceful, and your body can start to heal, and you can just go forth with more ease. So easy, quick ways, just some of them take a minute, 30 seconds. One of them's 2 minutes. So I encourage everyone to get those just for, especially some of the holidays are coming up in most parts of the world, just to give yourself some resources so that you can take care of you, because then everything else goes more smoothly.
Right. And I love that you brought that up, because that would have been kind of my next question that you also answered. When you can begin to regulate your nervous system, what are the benefits of that? Because, so many times we talk about being stressed and
Yeah.
not being able to make decisions, but now let's flip it on the other end and say, these are the real concrete things that 2-minute exercise you talked
Mm-hmm.
about
Mm-hmm.
could do for you, not only short term, but long term, right?
Oh my gosh, I love that you asked that. So yes, we know that the fight or flight is the stress, and it's all the systems in our body that we don't need to run from a tiger, they all shut down. So on that flip side, you get better sleep because your mind isn't racing because it thinks it's in danger. You digest your food and absorb nutrients. You have clear thinking. Your body can heal. For some of us who have chronic healing, we do not heal in fight or flight. So you can do all the things, and you can spend decades doing all the things. But if your nervous system is activated for stress and fear and running and fighting, you're not going to heal. So it's the healing and the sleep and the digestion and then it's just like that not as easily quantifiable joy, ease of breath, and then suddenly around you everything just starts to work out more easily, right? People take care of themselves, and that phone call isn't someone needing something from you, and you just return to that relaxed state of contentment. And again, that's harder to quantify, but it is a thing. And the more we can be in it, the more resilient we are when the craziness happens around us, right? When the squirrels start to run around and things go crazy, because they will, because it's life. So the resilience piece is definitely a big part of that.
Right, right. And I like that relaxed sense of contentment.
Yes.
That really, I think too, once you spend a little time in that, like you could sort of get addicted to that, right?
Yeah, you
You're
don't
like, I
want
don't
to
want
go
to go
back,
back to the
right?
drama.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then it's
Yeah.
what do I need to do to stay in this, right? Or how can I
Right.
be in this more often? Absolutely. And it builds. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, cool. Well,
Awesome.
as we wrap up here, is there any last piece of advice you'd like to give our listeners?
Oh. So I would say number one, be yourself. Choose you, because honestly, everybody else benefits. So when you follow your joy, it gives other people permission to do the same, and the whole world around you changes. So just choose you as often as you can, right? Again, it's a muscle. And then on the piggyback on that is you can do it. You can do it. And you don't have to do it alone. Find people, find support, but you can create the life you love. I promise. When you do the inner work, your outside world changes. So you can do it.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah. Follow your joy and you can do it. And that is all you need to learn for today. So if you just followed those two things, yeah, it'll all work out. Well, this has been a delight, Alyssa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Well, be sure and subscribe, because you don't want to miss any more great conversations with powerful women who are sharing their stories, building businesses, changing the world, bringing more joy into it and flow. And we all need more of that.
Yes.
So catch you on the flip side.